Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday. You know what day it is. Success is Sexy with Sarah. Happy Canada Day to all of my fellow Canadians. And happy 4th of July coming up this weekend for all of our Americans.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have an amazing, safe weekend out there. I'm super excited for my guest today. We just had an amazing conversation backstage. Totally thought we were live. So we're trying this again. I would like everybody to meet Judith Morale. She is our personal hype woman, and she is just on fire in the online space. And I really wanted to bring her on and showcase her what is possible in today's day and age. As you guys are coming on, hey, Dorothy, I see you there. As you guys are coming on, say hey below in the comments and just let us know where you're coming in from. Hey, Kaylee, what's up? Hey, Judith.
Hi, Sarah, and good afternoon to everybody, wherever you are. Good morning, good evening, good night. And Sarah, thank you so much for inviting me today. I am so excited and so honored to be here today. And I said to the Sarah before that this is huge for me because I do have a fear of public speaking. And I've always said to Sarah that I prefer to be lit on fire. But because Sarah asked me, I'm feeling the fear and I'm doing it anyway. So here I am today.
I love it. And you are such a powerhouse. I've been following you for the last year. Like we chatted for probably about a year ago. You know, I had the privilege of working with you through the Bob Proctor program that we did together and, you know, through some coaching that we did together. So we've always been in contact, but I've been following you. I've been watching you. I've been following you. And you never would have guessed that you have a fear of public speaking because you're rocking it, my friend.
Thank you. Well, I'm assuming that in the online space that, you know, if I obviously didn't get in front of the camera, then the business wouldn't really go much further than that, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Faith and not fear.
Exactly. So I wanted to bring people on today because you are rocking it in the online space. You know, you're in corporate, you are doing this coaching business online. So I just wanted to come on here and show people what's possible in this day and age. So if you wouldn't mind, maybe just introducing yourself, telling us who you are, what it is that you do.
Yeah. So hi, everybody. Judith Morale. I'm a life and money mindset coach. I help people get over their limiting beliefs and their recurring obstacles to help them create a life of fulfillment, happiness, and financial abundance. That's what I do. But who am I? I'm a wife. I'm a mother to 4 incredible adults. But how I really say who the core of I am a pioneer. I am a visionary. I am a survivor. And I am a life giver. That's who I am.
That. Core. I love that. And you know, I know other people are thinking it, so I'm going to ask the questions. A mom to 4 adults, please share with you your skincare routine. I never would have guessed 4 adults.
And I always have this joke that inside is broken. Inside is broken.
You look fabulous, my friend. So I love that you said a survivor. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So my story started a long time ago. So I want to take you back to 1996. I was just turning 26 years old. At that time, I had 4 children, newborn twins, a 2-year-old, and a 7-year-old. I was just coming out of a really bad situation that left me broken, financially broke, and I felt very defeated by life. I remember back in 1996, it was a December. It was cold. I'm originally from the UK. You can hear my accent. And it was freezing. And at that time, I was so broke that I was selling off my gold jewelry systematically for heat and food and so on. That's how bad things were at that time. And I remember one day going into the kitchen and washing dishes, and the water ran cold. And then I had this feeling to the pit of my stomach that we had at that time in London. They're like slot machines here, but in the UK, they were called gas machines. And you'd feed money, coins into it to get heat and hot water. And I had miscalculated and the stores were closed and we had no heat. And we had the 4 children at that time. And I remember saying to myself, what am I going to do? So what I said to the kids, you know what, we're going to play a game of castles. We're going to build a castle today. And we went into our living room in our home, and we went to our sofa, and we took out the seat cushions one by one, and we stacked them to make like a little castle, like a little moat. And I put a sheet over it, and I put our pillows inside and our blankets. And I crept inside with my kids, and that's where we slept. The kids thought it was a blast. They were having a great time, but I was dying inside. And I remembered that night vividly, like it was yesterday, looking up at the ceiling and saying to myself, how did I get here? Rock bottom. How did I get here? And I was sick to my stomach because I looked around at my children and I said, I got to do better. And I made a decision that day. I made a decision that I would never be in that situation ever again. So slowly, because I'm not going to tell you it was overnight, slowly but surely, I made the changes. And I went from that 26-year-old broken woman to be happily remarried to a 6-figure income earner and happy. So I'm just really here to share my story to let you know that you too may have a rock bottom story. We all maybe do. It may not be as bad as that, or it could be. But I want to let you know that you don't have to be the victim of your circumstances, and you can change. You can make changes to get whatever you want.
That's unbelievable. Judith, I never heard your story before.
Mm.
That is unbelievable. Like to be able to, one, have so many children so young, living the way you were to where you are today. Like that's determination. And, in our industry, we get a lot of people say, "Oh, you're lucky." We hear you're lucky, but it's not luck. It's making a decision, right? It's making a decision on where you want to be.
And when people see you now with the online space, they see this. They see the glitz and glamour and, oh, she's lucky. But nobody knows your story.
Yep.
Nobody knows you when you're on your back. Nobody knows when you were rock bottom.
Yep.
And I've always said, and that was one of the things I've always said, you can't fall off the bottom. You just can't.
Yep.
But you can get up, start creeping and crawling and walking towards what you want.
I love that. You can't fall at the bottom. It's so true. It's like when you hit a dead end, you just turn around. People are like, I hit a dead end. Okay, well, turn around and go back.
I know it
Try
doesn't
a different route.
I know it seems simple because I was 26. What did I know?
Yeah.
4 lives that I was taking care of. I didn't even know what was up and what was down.
Yeah.
I just knew this was not it, Sarah. It was not it. This was not going to be my story. And I made that decision right then.
Yeah. And when you and I first started chatting, you were in corporate.
Yes. So fast forward a number of years later, I'm a VP of finance. I've got over 20 years of financial experience, 6-figure income earner. So at that time, COVID came along. I think that's when we started talking. And I just felt that I needed to do more. I needed to do more. I needed to show up for people who were hitting rock bottom possibly, who thought that there was no other way to go, no other way to turn, and show them that there were some possibilities if they were willing to entertain them and work for it. Because I'm not here to tell you that it's easy. I'm just here to tell you you can do it.
Yeah. So where were you before your coaching business?
Before my coaching business, in corporate.
Okay.
In the financial sector.
And COVID happened and you're like, it's time for my next goal. It's time for me to help other people.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was going to say that I worked hard to be in corporate and felt that I reached that level of success. But I don't know if anyone else can relate to it, that you get to the place that you think that you're meant to get there, and you're still feeling that there's still something not right, there's more. Yes,
Yep.
yes. And that was me
Yep.
last year. Something, I needed to do more, and I just wasn't fulfilled at all. So,
So who is it? Who's your ideal client? Like who do you want to work with?
so I hear that quite a lot. Who do I want to work with? I want to work with people who want more. I want to work with people who are frustrated and stressed and know that there is something for them, but they have no idea what's in them or how to go and get it. I want to work with people who want to work, because
Mm,
it's not easy,
yeah.
but it's a journey. And if you're willing and able to do it, it's possible.
I love Les Brown. So I follow him a lot. He's one of my idols. Like he's also been through a lot and his story really resonates with me too. And he says you have to be hungry,
Yes.
right? Like you have to be hungry for what it is that you want. If you get up every single day and you're looking in the mirror and you still feel unfulfilled for 3 days in a row, that's insanity. Okay. So after 3 days, if you're still having the same thoughts and still emotion, you have to change it. So are you hungry enough for your goals to risk everything and go after it?
And it's so interesting that you say that, Sarah, because, fast forward now, there's all these different buzzwords and people, what is your why? Got to get a why. And I had a why before I knew it was called a why, and it was called my family.
Yeah.
It was doing it for them. That's what got me up off rock bottom. Then they propelled me and made me push myself with no excuses so I could show up for them now and show to them that whatever you want to achieve is possible. And my adult children now, I coach them. And I bring them back to that story. Do you remember we made castles?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Well, let me tell you what that was. And they were like, I didn't know.
Right.
But what would have happened if I just laid there with them and didn't do anything?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here today.
Exactly. I love that you say you coach them
Yes.
because so many parents today, they feed into their children. They just give in. They're not showing them a way. Unfortunately, I see it a lot. I do talk to a lot of people and they're like I can't better myself because I have to help my children. I can't gain personal development for myself because that money has to go to my children.
Interesting. It's all about priorities.
Mhm.
I say to my children at an early day, I've been fierce with my independence, because you can imagine 26-year-old, 4 children. I was fierce because I realized at that moment it had gone.
Yeah.
And then I craved independence so much that I taught my children to be independent, because when they were independent, I was independent.
Yeah.
So I've always said to them, I will love you. I do love you. I will support you, but I won't carry you.
I love that. Yes. I'm fierce with my independence. Somebody drop that in the comments because I need to come back and reference that. I am fierce with my independence. That's my biggest aha moment right now because, you know, I used to hear this like from my exes. They'd be like, "Oh, you don't need me. You're so independent." Yeah, you're right. I don't need another person to help carry me through life. I can carry myself through life, but I want to do this with somebody who is just as fierce as I am with their goals. Right? And I'm very lucky to have my husband who is on board. And I had that conversation with him. I said, "What's going to happen when I am up here with my personal development and my growth and my business and I'm on with my goals and you decide that you want to stay here?" I said, "What's going to happen in our relationship?" And he's like, "I'm not going to allow that to happen." So he
Yeah.
does his personal growth and he's doing his goals and he's doing his dreams every single day and he's rocking it.
And I think that's incredible, because when a couple, doesn't have to be married, but a couple
Mhm.
are cohesively joined like that, that's the foundation of movement.
Yeah.
When I was, again, back in 1996, and I was going through that, and the last thing I wanted to do was be in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
I met my husband, my now husband, because I put it on that damn vision board, wrote it down,
Yeah.
and then he showed up. And what was
How it
he
works.
talking to me about? And don't forget, I keep saying it, but just think of this. I didn't know myself at that time. All I knew is that I had children, people to be responsible for. I didn't know what I desired, didn't know who I was, where I was going at that time. So fast forward, I get a little, better in terms of my self-image and my confidence. I meet my now husband, and he's talking to me about Deepak Chopra and Stephen Covey, and I was like, "Where
Who
did
are
you
you?
come from? Who are you?" And it was those teachings, along with his support, we moved, and we moved like a unit.
Isn't it amazing? But the best part is we didn't force them to do it.
Right.
It was all willing. And that's when we have conversations with, clients or potential clients, and they're like, well, my husband or my spouse or my partner's not on board. They don't have to be. Like I always said, I didn't ask for my husband's permission. I told him, you buy what you want to buy. I'm investing in myself. I would love your support, but I'm not asking for your permission to spend this money. Now he said to me, he said, could you imagine if you listened to me?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, good thing I didn't. Good thing I'm fierce with my independence.
Yeah. And I'm not telling everybody got to fire husbands and do
Yes.
all this stuff, but you have to know when to hold them and where to hold them. I sound like a what's it called? A country and western song, right? You know when to hold them to Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
But it's true. You
It
really do. And then when you step into yourself, I remember again asking people questions. What do you think? What do you think I should do? What do you think? Should I do this? What do you think? For people who weren't even remotely invested in my future,
Yep.
asking questions because I was unsure. I don't ask questions anymore. I ask for forgiveness after.
Yes. Yep. And that's how you do it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, who are 3 people who have been most influential on your journey?
So I think I've mentioned them too. I think Deepak,
Yep.
Stephen Covey. I read those books in and out, in and out, in and out. And I would have to say my family. My family. They encompass everything. They are the why, the why not, the why didn't you. They are everything. And that has fulfilled me so much.
I love
And yeah, just keep me moving forward because
Yep.
I can look at them and I can feel proud.
That's amazing. And I bet they're so proud of you. Yes.
It's
Such a good
incredible.
feeling.
Yes.
It's such a good feeling. So, what do you wish you had known when you started out in your online business?
That I was enough. That I was enough. And I had the ability to stop and quieten the noise around me. Oh, it's got to look like this. You've got to do like this. Oh, maybe you're too old. Maybe you should stay in your profession. Maybe you should this. Knowing 100% that I was enough if I knew that. Well, I would have started my business such a long time ago.
I know, me too. I was like, so I look at Kaylee. Kaylee's my business partner. And, in 1996, she was 2 years old.
Why
And
do I get those figures now?
I know.
Do some maths.
And I look at her and she's 27. She's got 2 under 2 and she's rocking out a business, and she's rocking out a business in the time pockets that she has. Like, she's incredible. And then I looked today for some reason, Rosemary once told me age is just a mindset. And I was like, I got to think about that. And it's so true. We put numbers on us somewhere along the way in history. And Shalene Johnson, who is somebody that I admire and I follow her on Instagram this morning, talked about how age is just a number. And she showed comparisons of like 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 92-year-old woman who started a YouTube channel and is rocking it.
But it's so easy to put, limits on everything. So, and that was the other piece, Maybe I was too old. Maybe I wasn't fit the right demographic. I had to look a certain way. I had to speak a certain way. It's so much noise and pressure around you that none of it belongs to you. None of it.
It's
It's
so true.
it's just around you, and it just lands on you as you keep moving through. And then the ones that land on you, you keep them. Oh, maybe I'm too old. Maybe I should stay in my um, you know, financial career. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Who's going to listen to you, and etc. etc. etc.
Yeah. And in this day and age now, if like the pressure these kids have coming out of university, like if you don't know what you want to do in life, have a job, haven't hit your first $1 million by the time you're 21, they're struggling through with the rest of their life. But I think of like, Morgan Freeman, he started at 55 his career, right? And then you have Colonel Sanders, who was in his 80s when he made his first $1 million. But we've set these standards now where we have to know, be, and have everything by the time we get married, even if we get
Yes,
married.
or not.
Yeah, or not.
Another lady I love is Lisa Nichols, and I wrote down her quote. She said that we always have to remember that we can't plant the seed and reap the harvest in the same season.
Yep.
So we can't just go on Instagram and be an overnight sensation. Some people do.
Yep.
But we have to understand that mindset. And that way, that serves you better than thinking that you're not good enough, or you suck at it, or whatever story you want to say, you want to tell yourself.
Yep.
My daughter, Katrina, she's 26, and she literally, I don't know, 8 weeks ago was, I don't know if you had an opportunity to see in my YouTube video, I did a video about her. She started an online business called House of Crowns that makes wigs. She went from being on the sofa watching Netflix to launching an online business that all of her product is sold out in 8 weeks.
Incredible.
And I just asked her a couple of questions.
Yeah, we're going to check that out. So where can we find your YouTube?
So I'm judithmorel.com. Everything about me is judithmorel.com. My email is judithmorel@email.com. My Instagram, Judith Morel. I'm consistent everywhere.
Perfect. Let's go check out that video, because that in 8 weeks, 8 weeks. And so we always talk about, Kaylee and I, when we're talking with, potential clients who want to come on, that we're going to get you results in 6 months. Like, you're not waiting years. We've put this stigmatism on, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? We don't want to wait that long.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we set that goal for 3 to 5 years, but then the 5th year comes around and we haven't even started it yet. So we're like, we're going to get you results in 6 months.
I'm super excited, and definitely, as I said to you, Sarah, I can't wait. And congratulations on your success. That's incredible.
Thank you so much.
Never doubted it. Never.
I did sometimes, but thank God.
You're a mover and shaker. You always have been.
I have been. That's for sure. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. If I'm working for somebody else, I'm working for somebody else's goals. So why don't I just write my goals down and just work on those?
You make it sound so simple. And this is the other thing about what coaching is about. Yep. You have to have a plan. I have a coach. Yep. You need to coach and support. I think back in 1996, if I had someone who came to me and said, hey, I'm going to guide you, I'm going to support you, my goal, I would have moved a lot faster than I did.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the exact plan that I use to get me from here to here, to get you from here to here. That's what a mentor is. That's what a coach is. They're the ones who already have the results, and they just want to share with you the blueprint.
Yes, rather than me years ago just playing around.
Exactly.
Playing around and not having that.
Saves you so much money. So Judith, what is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure was, I think I mentioned it previously, that I didn't start way before. I took myself in and then I took myself out. So my failure was playing small, was not listening to that voice, not listening to the feelings I had, that emptiness in my stomach, that longing to do more than I was doing. That is my biggest regret and failure, that I didn't show up before.
And
yeah.
Joe Dispenza talks about, there was a study at a university where they studied like 100 people on their deathbed, and they asked what their biggest regret was, and it was not going after their dreams.
Yes. No one said, oh, it wasn't, I didn't make a million,
Yeah.
or I did. Yeah. It was literally that. Or spend enough time with your loved ones.
Yep. And you know, there's movies about it, there's songs about it, there's real life stories about it. Yep. For some reason, we don't follow it.
Well, we think it doesn't apply because we
Yep.
don't fit the look, the description, the gender, the age. You know, we count ourselves in and we count ourselves out because we have, again, social media that
Yeah.
makes things look so pretty and everything is packaged nicely, but
Yeah.
we don't identify with it. We don't think that those successes can be for us because we don't identify with what we see there. No one's telling you their story to identify, like, oh, you could do this too. She did it. You just see the highlight reel and you
Yeah.
just, yeah, my life doesn't look like that. So I don't think I could do that. And that's where I was.
Yeah. Same. So, what are the best resources that helped you out on your journey?
The best resources were mentorship. That gave, as I said, gave me the guidance. Coaching. I learned so much. I learned how to show up. I learned to be me. I learned so much. And reading. I know this is your wheelhouse. I know you're on a journey to read some books. I've lost track. I'll be honest.
I think I'm at 18 right now.
And what's your goal for the end of the year?
32.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say, with COVID and the world not being turned upside down. It didn't stop. It just revolved slowly last year. I was able to take some time and reflect, and I read. I actually read books. Prior to that, I couldn't tell you when I last read a book. I didn't have the time. We were busy. We were doing things.
Yeah.
And I was able to read. And that was the biggest resource for me through my coaching journey, reading. And I'm sure you must get every time you read a book, oh my God, aha, again, or read the same book over again. I'm like, I'm sure I read this. How did I miss that?
Yep.
Shows up differently.
So Bob always talks about, Bob Proctor says that the secret of the ages are locked up in books, which is so true. Because if it wasn't, we wouldn't have textbooks in school. We wouldn't be learning from history.
But I think when we're in school, we're not taught. My English, my British, taught to understand the power of the books. We just told you have to read the book, and it puts a different slant on it that you don't want to. You don't understand until after you just. I'm never reading a book again. Good luck to school. I'm out. And then years later, you're like, oh my God, did you read that book?
Well, yeah, like The Alchemist. I was like, nope, I'm not reading this. And now it's like, okay, I got to read this again and again and again.
Did I tell you a story about The Alchemist? And again, I'm having goosebumps just you talking about it. I've picked that book up 3 times to read. And I don't know who says it, but if you read the first few chapters and you just don't get it, you're not ready to receive the message.
Yeah.
So true story. A few weeks ago, sitting on my neighbor's balcony with a mutual friend, hadn't seen her since over a year because of COVID, and we are able now to see each other. She said, Judith, I got a message for you. Again, haven't spoken to her for a year and a half from COVID. She says it's time to read the book.
If that's not a message from God.
Did you tell her? Did you tell her about the book?
No.
She just said she had something to tell you.
That's crazy.
And now you're talking about The Alchemist.
Well,
I get it. I'll get it.
Universe is speaking. Come on.
I'll get it. I'll get it. Get off my back.
So I love what you said there, because I had purchased Think and Grow Rich many moons ago, and it sat on my bookshelf until I joined TIR, and now it's my Bible. Like, I scribble in it, and I write in it, I read in it over and over again. Like, if I could have 2 books with me and I was lost on an island, it would be that book and You Too Can Be Prosperous. Those are my books that I go over and over again.
Yeah, mine would be Psycho-Cybernetics, Natural Marks. I'm all about that. Yeah. And I flip and flop with other books, but that one is my mainstay. Yeah. Like, I was like, how comes I didn't know about this? Yeah. When I did a mastermind and started reading it. So mastermind, obviously, if you don't know, is a collection of people who just come together on a call to talk about something. And it's like a book, fancy name for a book club, right, Sarah? Really?
We have one. It's called the 6 a.m. Reading Club. So we have one at
Mhm.
6 a.m. Monday to Friday Eastern, and then we have a 7 p.m. Eastern one as well. And we just come together and we read and we mastermind.
Because I think when you people collective, that people talk about some other things or read other things that you didn't even see, and then you're like, I didn't see that, and you're able to share, and it's a beautiful exchange of
Yep.
and enjoying a book.
Yep. And people pay millions of dollars to mastermind with the greats. They pay millions of dollars to mastermind with Deepak Chopra and Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer when he was still living. Like,
Mhm. I can imagine that is definitely a. Can you imagine being inside and here? Yeah,
gosh, it'd be so amazing. I would just love to be a fly on the wall and absorb it all. Well, thank you so much for having us, Judith. One more time, where can our listeners find you?
So I'm on Instagram, Judith Morel, on Facebook, Judith Morel Mindset Coach, my website, judithmorel.com, my YouTube, Judith Morel. You can find me.
And if you could leave our listeners one piece of advice to go after their dreams, what would that be?
One piece of advice. Taking you back to that 26-year-old girl I don't even recognize. Take the first step. From that, everything is less scary. And I was at rock bottom. To taking the first step was scary. So ask the questions, get the support, get a coach, but take the first step.
Absolutely. Because if you're 1% better every single day, you're 365% better after a year.
Incredible. When you say it like that, that's fantastic.
That's a big, big jump. Thank you so much, Judith, for having us. Thank you, everybody who jumped on today. Hey, Barbie, Kaylee, Susie, Lily. Yes, Lily, I will definitely post her handles here so you guys can have them. Great advice, Kaylee. Write down your goals or you work for someone who does. Peter Sage. Absolutely.
Very nice.
All right. We'll chat with you guys later. Thanks for being a part of us today. And we will see you guys next Thursday, same time. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.